members of the Housing Committee. It's great to be here today, and thank you for wading through the technical difficulties. My name is Erin Boggs. I'm the Executive Director of Open Communities Alliance, which is a member of the Steering Committee of Growing Together Connecticut, a statewide consortium of organizations advocating for equitable investments and policies in under-resourced communities and expanded affordable housing choices in all parts of the state. I'm here to testify in support of 6633, the Fair Share Bill. There's a consensus that we are in an affordable housing crisis. Connecticut, led by its political leaders, has an important decision to make. Do we want to address zoning overregulation and plan and zone for a sustainable economy and equitable future or not? It's really that simple. Fair share is a way to empower towns to plan and zone for all the affordable and market rate units we need. Fair Share would implement a new statewide housing policy framework based on an effective process in New Jersey. It works in a very basic way, and I'm explaining it at high level. What Fair Share does is it would generate an estimate of the need for affordable housing by regions, then allocate the regional need to towns in a tailored way, considering local factors in each town. With technical assistance from the state, towns are then asked to plan and zone to achieve their fair share in 10 years, with 2 years running up to that for planning. And then there's common sense enforcement, but only if a town doesn't have an effective plan. I want to correct some misinformation that's out there about fair share. Fair share is not a radical override of local zoning. To the contrary, it is critical that residents of municipalities come together to plan how they will meet their fair share goal in creative ways that meet their vision, but in accordance with existing laws, particularly the Zoning Enabling Act. Fair share is not a requirement that towns themselves build housing. Fair share is about municipalities allowing a range of housing in a way that's already required by law. Fair share is not one size fits all. It's the exact opposite. It's calibrated for each town. Fair share is not a policy to create only very low income housing. It's a policy that goes up to 80% of area median income, or $80,000 a year for a family of four. And it does not require towns to build tons and tons of housing beyond its actual fair share number. There are options for towns. They can include 100% affordable developments, inclusionary developments, or even take some existing housing and convert it into mixed income housing, for example. What it is something that works. It's worked in New Jersey to create over 160,000 units of affordable housing and about another 200,000, 150 to 200,000 units of market rate housing. It helps cities because it takes the market pressure off and gives more power to tenants who are renting and makes them less beholden to unscrupulous landlords. And importantly, most towns, if they have an effective fair share plan, will get a moratorium under the state's 8-30G law in 2 to 5 years. And it's supported by lots of people in Connecticut. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Comments? I don't see any for you, Erin. Thank you.
Oh, I think Representative Luxembourg might have
Representative Luxembourg. I'm sorry.
It's quite all right. Thank you, Senator Moore, and thank you, Erin, for your testimony. We've heard some testimony earlier today about that sort of painted this proposal in a light that it would be devastating to certain municipalities and that it's one size fits all. And that's not how I read it when I read the language of the bill. I read that it is adaptable and fair. But I'm wondering if you could provide some additional commentary on that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, as I said, there is a lot of misinformation about this. And because it's really designed to be town specific, there are some details around that, maybe some people are not fully understanding. I'm happy to sit down. I think there was a legislator who testified earlier. I'd be happy to sit down with him and talk it through. It really means growth for most places of around 1%, maybe 2% a year in affordable housing over 10 years. So it's not a massive change. It's something that happens over time. And it is housing we desperately need. And all towns actually have an obligation to help us get there.
And could you talk about the economic benefits, just because New Jersey is the place that it's done it successfully. And I know people are concerned about, the economic impact here in Connecticut. Maybe you could shed some light on that.
Absolutely. And I think the fact that it's working so well in New Jersey is the most, maybe one of the most important responses to people who are worried about this, because New Jersey has had exceptional positive growth and lots of housing created, and the sky has not fallen. And so the opportunity for Connecticut to do the same, especially considering we're in the same region, we're right near New York in the same way that New Jersey is important. So our estimate is that we would have for Connecticut residents an income increase of about $47 billion over 10 years, increase in state and local tax revenue of about over $9 billion, and at least 63,000 jobs that would be created. This would be an incredible boon to Connecticut, and it would help us economically, but it also would allow a rising tide to lift all ships.
Thank you, Erin. Senator Moore, I don't have any further questions. Appreciate the testimony, Erin.
Are there any other questions? Representative Zullo.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I apologize. I missed the beginning of your testimony, so I apologize if it's repeating something. I had to step out for a second. Earlier, we heard testimony from individuals on all sides of the aisle, representatives alluding to the fact that fair share has not worked in New Jersey, and it's your contention that it has.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to hear what the reasoning was behind that, but in New Jersey, fair share has created up to date about 100,000 units of market rate housing in denser configurations. So it is naturally more affordable, plus an additional 70,000 affordable deed restricted units. And there are agreements with towns to complete another 100,000 market rate units and another 50,000 deed restricted units. So it's worked tremendously. And the economic growth in the sort of New Jersey, part of New Jersey that is basically a suburb of New York, similar to parts of Fairfield County, is 3 times what it is in Fairfield County. So it's working incredibly well.
And then just in follow-up, the economic growth, the figures that you cited, as far as projections for Connecticut, is that based on some kind of hard economic data study? Is that just a projection? Where did those figures come from, and how?
Yeah, it's based on a sort of combining both outcomes in New Jersey with a Connecticut specific report from the National Association of Home Builders that is sitting on our website, and we're happy to share with you.
I was going to say, is it part of your testimony, or is it accessible somehow? Or...
There's a site to it in our testimony, and it's linked on our website.
I missed it, but I will definitely take a look at it. Thank you very much.